Well, hello again. Welcome to Two Guys, One Coup. I'm Dale. There is Jim. How are you, sir? This is episode number 5. So,
Doing
uh,
doing quite well.
how are you? Did you have a good Christmas?
I had a very nice Christmas. Yes, how about you?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, it was great. Yours was nice. Mine was great. So I don't know,
hmm
what that
Well,
means
mine was
exactly.
great. It was great. It was. Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. I just was like, I'm not trying to.
Okay.
It's not a
No,
contest. I just thought
I did.
maybe like you didn't get the gifts you wanted. I thought
Oh
maybe you
yeah.
just kind of. Oh,
No,
did you?
I got a lot of nice gifts. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's the favorite
Something that
gift
you
you got?
something you won't be interested in, but I got the
Probably the box collection of New Direction or
no.
something.
It was a box collection, but it was Songs of Ice and Fire, Fire and Ice,
Oh, from Game of
Game
Thrones.
of Thrones. Yep.
Why
Yep.
would I not be interested in that? I'm a total Game
Because
of
you don't
Thrones guy.
read. Yeah, but you don't read.
I watched. I didn't have to read. I mean,
Yeah, but
they
it's.
made
I
something visual for me to see it. Why would I read it?
I also got Fire and Blood, the prequel, the one that's coming out, and
Is it Fire and Blood or is it House of Dragon? Is that what they
I'm
call it?
sorry,
Or
Fire. I think it's Fire and Blood, but I don't know what the show
I think it's
itself
House.
might be called House of Dragon
I think
because it
it's
is
House of
about the
Dragon.
Targaryens. But
Yeah.
that was really good. It wasn't written like the other ones are.
Hmm.
Like this person, then that person. That it
Hmm.
was basically written by a maester. A maester would have written down all the stuff about the
Oh, okay.
Targaryen family. So it was kind of
Yeah.
interesting, kind of
Yeah.
background. Now I
Yeah.
know when you watch the show or you
Hmm.
read the books, and they always reference Aegon the Conqueror
Yeah.
in the Conciliator, I think is what.
Hmm.
You, okay, now you know who he is.
Yep. Well,
so,
that's good. That's
so
good.
yeah,
So, anyways, for your information, it is House of
yeah,
Dragon. That's the prequel.
yep,
That's
yep,
that is actually being filmed now
yeah.
by HBO.
And
They
I do
were going to
have
do
some.
Fire and Blood. They did a Fire and Blood pilot, but it failed and they canceled it. So I don't know
Oh,
if it was from two different people. And I don't know if George R. R. Martin is. Why does he have two middle initials? What is it?
I don't know. J.R.R. Tolkien. I don't know.
I don't even know who that is, but go on.
The Hobbit.
And there you
Lord of
have
the
it.
Rings. Lord of the
There you
Rings.
go. There you go.
Seriously, but I do want to show you something that
We
our
can't wait.
one of our favorite listeners got me.
Oh, really?
We'll talk about him.
You got gifts from
Yeah,
listeners?
yeah. It's a sign for Fireball. Lights up and everything.
Really?
I
You got
love,
a.
I love, I love me some Fireball. So yeah,
Oh my
it was.
God! Why
Isn't
is it
that
not
cool?
hanging up behind you? Why do you
Well,
not
it's
have that?
not well, not yet. It'll be hung up.
Okay,
But that was
all right.
kind of cool.
That's
But yeah,
really
I got
nice.
it was a
Yeah, it's cool.
great Christmas. Got pretty much everything I asked
Yeah,
Santa for.
yeah, yeah. Me too, and then
First time
some.
I never got coal.
Oh, that is the first
I didn't
time.
get I didn't get coal, so I'm good.
I don't know.
You know.
I don't know how you missed that, but how Santa missed that. But anyways, okay. Well, I guess we
Yeah,
can kind of get into the show. Everybody knows what's
yeah,
going on. I'm glad you had a good Christmas, you and your family,
yeah.
and
And I hope
this is.
everybody out there had one too.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Got to go ahead.
Hmm? No, what
Okay.
were you gonna say? No,
I
you
was just going
said
to say we got
apparently it was
our
important enough to interrupt me. So go ahead.
our listeners. Hope they had a Merry Christmas. And if
You just said that.
if you wanna send us an email about some of the gifts you
Oh,
got,
okay.
go
I
ahead.
thought you were gonna send us gifts. If you want to send us gifts, like Jim
No,
gets
no,
from
no.
listeners,
No, we don't have
you
to
know,
get gifts. Now, again, we are looking for sponsors. So,
that would be the gift for sure, wouldn't it?
I mean,
Um,
Fireball would be perfect behind me.
it would be. It would be
Sponsored
perfect.
by
I mean,
Fireball.
I think you can tell that our production quality is costing us fortunes. So we could use a
Yeah,
little stipend from a sponsor or something like that.
yeah,
That would help a little bit.
yeah. I think our
Maybe even
viewership has to go up too.
does
Just a
it?
couple people. Couple
I
people.
mean, a couple people a little bit more. Maybe then it starts working. But so far, so good. We're getting a lot of feedback from
Yeah.
viewers, which is really great,
Fun
which we
feedback.
appreciate. Fun.
Yeah.
I'll kind of review this again. You can get us on our Gmail. It's two guys, one coup at gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook under Two Guys, One Coup, and then on Twitter at Two Guys, One Coup. And of course, watch and listen as you would. These are posted on YouTube. currently till Jim gets us kicked off, and then we'll have to find a different platform. But or you will have to take some suggestions from the younger folks on where the hell to put this recording. But right now, YouTube works. It's what we do. That's my technological skills allow me to upload this onto YouTube, and that's as far as it goes for me. Yeah. So
my niece has given niece has some suggestions for where we should probably apply our podcast.
Really?
My niece, the one who listens quite a bit, she listens to all of them. She watches, listens, and but yeah. So I'll get that list, and who knows? Maybe we can attract some younger crowd. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know, because that's where all of it goes. They're the ones that are on social media. They're the ones that know everything. They go out, do all this, and I don't know.
That's true. That's true.
Anyway, but yeah. So cool. Did you give out the email address?
I did. It was 2guys1coup@gmail.com.
And the Facebook?
Again, find us on Facebook at 2guys1coup. Twitter at 2guys1coup. Awesome. So far, I've gotten no tweets from anybody. I got to be honest with you. I hate Twitter.
Yeah, I hate it too, and I can't find us.
Garbage.
What? I can't find us. Yeah, I do at.
Why is that not something we discussed before we get on the air here like this?
Yeah, because I thought our listeners might be able to help out and see if they found it. Maybe that's how we're not getting tweets.
Are you?
I am not lying.
Right? Are you spelling it right?
Well, the number 2.
Guys, you know how to spell that.
Oh, it's not just the number 2?
That's just you. You're our number 2.
Yeah. Seriously. Anyway, we'll talk about that off the show.
Well, that sucks. Thanks for letting me know. But anyways, at 2guys1coup on Twitter, if you can locate us. Apparently.
Hopefully you find us.
Hopefully you.
I cannot, and I got back on Twitter, so that's weird.
Yeah, well, you're terrible at that crap, anyways.
I hate it. I hate it.
You do. I hate it. Well, Twitter sucks, anyways. But anyways, you should be able to find us under that. It's.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll search.
I've gotten a few likes on tweets, but that's about it. Not from I don't know if they're listeners or not. I can't tell, but so I know it's there.
Okay. I'll search. I'll find something.
All right. Well, on to the show. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. I mean, a bunch of stuff. A lot's happened. This is our last show of the year of 2021. Woo, woo, woo. Actually, this will probably come out into 2022. So, then we'll obviously have more and more and more and more. We're going to do this. We're not going to stop. Despite people begging us to, maybe. I don't know. But we're not going to stop.
So far have not had that. So
I have not had that either. I've had a lot of support, a lot of support from the family, from friends, from which I do appreciate. That's for sure, because we enjoy doing it. We do it more for our enjoyment. Hopefully this thing kicks off and gets into something. And, once we get a studio and a staff and producers and all that, I'm sure, that'll be,
Right now, if they want to work for free, okay.
Yeah, we're hiring. We're hiring for free. So anyway, some things, I'm just briefly go over some stuff that, maybe we want to talk about. I've got COVID stuff again, because why not? Because that's all it is COVID. I've got some, maybe some stuff that doesn't make the mainstream news or wouldn't make the mainstream news, just little things, little stories. Of course, we got our AOC or Big Schumer of the weeks. I don't know, Jim, if you have one this week, but I do.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll get into the sports, and there's a lot to talk about there. That's for sure. As you can see, you're wearing the Cincinnati Bengals hat.
Oh, am I? Oh,
is absolutely. I mean, congratulations so far. I feel Cincinnati's going to find a way to blow this thing. And
I do too,
because they got all the talent to not.
I do too.
Joe Burrow's a stud.
I have no faith in faith in their coaching. None.
It's the coaching that worries you, and I understand that. Well, let's take, for instance, I'll go another one homer thing for me, which I don't really want to talk about the Browns because, you see how they're doing. And Baker Mayfield is not the guy. I'm telling you, I've told you before this that Baker Mayfield is not the guy, and he's not. I don't care if he's hurt. I don't care if he isn't. That guy couldn't come back in the fourth quarter if he was, first down and, on the opponent's one. He could not score. Anyways, he would throw an interception. That's what he would do. But you want to talk about play calling. I like Kevin Stefanski. I like the coach of the Browns. I do. I don't dislike him, but we've been running down Green Bay's throat, running the ball. We get the ball back with 2 minutes left in the game. We're down by 2. We get to the 50-yard line. 3 straight passes. The third one being an interception. Now, granted, there was holding. I mean, there's clear holding. You can blame the refs. You can do whatever. But the point is that they took all 3 of those. And Baker Mayfield couldn't hit the broadside of a barn anymore. So I don't know what's going to go on there. The Browns have to win the last 2, and they can get into playoffs, which is absolutely insane to me because they'll probably get their butts kicked in the playoffs. But I don't see them. I mean, I don't even see them beating Pittsburgh this week. That's who they play. And then, of course, they play Cincinnati at home.
Yeah.
Anything could happen there. We know what happened last time they played Cincinnati in Cincinnati, but Cincinnati is a different team.
We'll see. This week Bengals win, they clinch. And, but it's the Chiefs. And the Chiefs are playing for home field advantage. So
they are. Yep.
Got some, but you talk about play calling because it was kind of, the 49ers game, my son and I are Bengal fans, and we point to this game. I mean, there's been some other games, the Green Bay game, the Chicago game, where we should have won those games, Jets and all that. But this game against San Francisco, overtime, we're passing the ball down the field. We get to within field goal range, and we start running the ball.
Well, that's the exact opposite of what the Browns should.
Exactly, and
exact same opposite.
But see, our coach, and here's what I don't like. Our coach played to not lose.
Yeah,
he didn't play to win. He didn't play to win. And you
what the Browns do.
You throw the ball, you get the touchdown because the other team's going to have a chance, and they did. They came down, they scored a touchdown, and very frustrating. And Jamar Chase, our great wide receiver, looking forward to seeing him hopefully for a long time. When they interviewed him at the game, he said, why did they change? You were passing the ball down. Why did they play call? He goes, good question.
Oh, nice. So even questions.
Yeah. So, and Joe Burrow this weekend said that Zach Taylor called a good game because if you look everywhere, from day one, that has been the biggest complaint from Bengal fans and outside the Bengal organization is the play calling, both defensively and offensively. It's like when
let me ask you a question though. I mean, we're and not to interrupt, but I don't mind interrupting.
That's okay. That's fine.
You're still a big Joe Burrow fan? I mean, you are.
Oh yeah,
you are.
Why would I not?
There's absolutely nothing to do in your favorite city in the whole entire world.
Yeah, but see, I think he was joking. Oh, but everybody takes to this. I mean, you got Carlos Dunlap, who was a complete a-hole the last 2 years of his tenure because they weren't using him enough. But what's he doing in Seattle right now, by the way? But so he comes on and says he's right. Now
he's right. Look, there's nothing to do in Cincinnati.
Well, there's plenty to do because now did you see I saw the tweets and all that stuff going in and giving Joe Burrow ideas where to go. This is a guy.
Christmas present of things to do in Cincinnati.
Yeah, and this is a guy
was the number one I heard.
Yeah. This is the guy that goes home, which is great. I mean, it's fantastic because they got a very close family. He goes home to eat for dinner. It's a couple, So I mean, you don't want your quarterback of your organization to be a partier, to go out and do all this stuff and all that. Don't. You want him to be what Joe Burrow is being now, and that is a leader of the team. And I was a big fan of Carson Palmer. I know a lot of Bengal fans did not like him towards Carson the end. Palmer. I think Cincinnati chased him out, and I'm still pissed about the whole thing. But Joe Burrow, I know it's early, but if I were the Bengals, I would probably be starting next year negotiating his contract to keep him here.
Yeah, extension him. I mean, they got him under contract for another 2 years?
2 plus the option, and but don't let it go that far because you got Jamar Chase is locked. He's good. Tyler Boyd signed a contract, so he's got about
What
3
about
years.
Higgins?
Higgins has this was his second year, so he's still. I think
Good.
they'll start. I think they'll start working on his contract next year.
I think you know this. If I say this incorrectly, I'm sure you can't correct me, but they're the first team in NFL history to have a 4,000-yard passer, 2 1,000-yard receivers, and a 1,000-yard rusher.
Yep.
All under the age of 25 and younger.
Yeah, and
unbelievable.
And the offensive line is suspect at best. So,
well, that's right. Once they prove that, I mean, I can't even imagine.
In the defense, Trey Hendrickson has been a beast. I mean, he's just been fantastic pickup and helped Sam Herbert on the other side. And then BJ Hill, that trade with, we traded your center from Ohio State. His name's escaping me right now. Price. Yep, and so we get BJ Hill, and oh my God, he's been phenomenal. And then DJ Reader, underappreciated, completely overlooked by the Pro Bowl, and that guy's a stud
for sure. Do you think that people who are listening that don't follow sports or even care about Cincinnati even are continuing to listen to this podcast right now because you won't shut up about it?
Well, I will say this. It was funny because I was out on Twitter the other day and I did see this tweet. Yeah, I did see this tweet.
Find us.
No, I could not. I did see this tweet from somebody who said, and this is the last thing we'll say about it, but he goes, I don't know if I want to live in a world where we're in week 16 of the NFL season and the Cincinnati Bengals are still in the playoffs.
I know.
I want to live in that world. I've been waiting to live in that world.
I blame the Democrats and COVID for this upside down world we live in, including Cincinnati still being in contention, leading the division. I mean, they have their own destiny in front of them. Excuse me. And I think personally, that team can beat any team in the AFC if they play to their potential.
If they get out of their way. If they get out of their own way. So
everybody's talking about them, and they, I'm
everybody's bored. Let's move on. I agree.
Isn't that the truth, including me?
We'll get into sports later on.
We will, and we won't talk about them, will we?
No, nope.
Okay, good. I was just wondering whether we should end the show now or keep it going. So
I could talk about them all day, but then I guarantee we lose a lot of listeners. So
I know you can. It's insane. So, anyways, our top 5 list. We're not going to do this yet. We'll get into that. But our top 5 this week, in case you don't remember or didn't listen, was it's going to be top 5 sitcoms. And we have some listeners who also contributed to that and also sent us top 5 Christmas movies from last week, which we will review. Excuse me. I think I got the, or something.
I've got it. I've got it too.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, we all got it. Everybody's got it.
Yep.
Nobody doesn't have it. Matter of fact, Dr. Fauci said, do not go anywhere near people, like really people, like on New Year's, just stay away.
And don't forget, one of our best listeners that have listened to the whole thing, we have to do a top 5 for her. And she says it's my niece. And if we do not do it, she'll stop listening to us. So we will definitely go over it.
We'll discuss it. And I think it would be absolutely stinking hilarious to do.
Well, we will. We'll do it. And we'll do a top 5. Not today, but we'll do it. We'll set it up for some other time.
Yeah, that will be in 2022.
Yep.
But anyway, so maybe we can kind of just get into a couple things. And then we'll actually a listener also made a suggestion on, why don't we just get into this right now then? Because you did a little bit of research and stuff, but the listener, and he said we could use his name. His name's Chris. And we appreciate his support and him listening and him contributing. And that's what we're looking for. So we do appreciate that. But he asked maybe we could discuss how the Republicans, what it would take for the Republicans to take back the White House in 2024 and who we thought, the potential nominees are going to be. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as, first of all, monitor cheating, I think would be a good start because they shouldn't have lost in 2020. So, and again, maybe controversial, maybe not. Maybe somebody saying, it's been proven and it's been certified and all. Yeah, I know the bullshit that happened there, but election was stolen. The machines were terrible. We know where they came from. We know what happened. You can't have drops in the middle of the night, and you can't have Republicans being, held out of the the areas where they're counting the ballots and all that. So that crap's got to stop, or I don't think we have ever a fair election again. Yeah. But anyways, that's that end of things. As far as what they need to do, to me, it's like, you just let Biden do what he's doing, apparently, because that's going to pretty much, to me, guarantee a victory in 2024.
Yeah. And it's funny that you bring that up because I got, there's been more announcements from 2 more Democrats where they're retiring to move on to other things this year. So these last 2 brings us to 23 House Democrats that are not running in the
How
midterms.
Many House Republicans are not? Do we know that number?
That I don't have that number. I just went.
Okay, I didn't know that either.
Because so we know. Well, some of us know that when the Republicans in Obama's midterm of his first term, the midterms of his first term, we had a lot of Republicans retire. Yeah. And and because they saw the writing on the wall.
We had some surprising ones in 2018 retire, which
So this year, when you see the Democrats doing it, that sends out a message that there's something in the works. We hope, the
writing's on the wall for sure.
Because let's face it, this usually happens. All right, when it happened under Trump, you lose positioning. We happened to lose the Senate at that time, not the House. Right. The House was already lost, but but we can take back the House, which is very important. One, if anything, just to make sure Biden doesn't continue with his crap that he's got out there. And let me rephrase that. Foremost. What Obama doesn't continue to put his crap out, because let's face it, this is the 3rd term of Obama. I don't care. But I just thought it was interesting because you brought that up, and I had printed this out so there are signs that Democrats feel that way too, that correct, that we're going to pull it. So hopefully it does,
and rightfully so. But it's got to start in 2022. It's got to start there. I mean, it's already started. When you look at the election in Virginia, that kind of thing is already. It's kind of it starts at the local mayors, governors, works its way up.
And keep in mind that Virginia with Youngkin winning. That was not just conservatives coming out to the poll.
Correct.
I mean, there were some pretty hardcore women the women from now who voted for Youngkin.
Yep.
So I mean, it's that was not just we just had more conservatives showing up to the ballots. So that's a good sign.
And Phil Murray in New Jersey damn near lost. Barely. And I didn't even see that one being close. And that's how close that was.
The only thing that scares me is if they let these illegals vote that they're letting into this country. So, let's put it though. Some of them are going to. So, some of them are going to vote. That's just the way some of these states are. I just happen to come from a state that it's very hard to do that.
Yep. Correct. So same thing in Florida. Very hard to do.
Which is where everybody should be, and it's not. Trust me, it's
not
that
goes
hard.
Into the voter ID laws.
It's not that. It's not that hard to get a voter ID, folks. It doesn't cost anything here in the state of Indiana. Yes, you do have to go get one.
But they also go out to the grocery store. They also go out to the. They also go get their driver's. I'm sure. Don't they have drivers? Are you saying it is voter ID if you don't have a driver's license? Like you have no ID. Well, you have nothing.
I mean, I asked some liberals. Yeah, you have nothing. You don't have anything on that. And so I asked some liberals. About this, because one of the things that you always hear, and we always do, and I'm not throwing this out there to cause anything. We hear it, right? Yeah. Voter ID law is racist.
That's what you hear.
So I asked them, how is that? Because I don't feel that way. I feel anybody can go and get. Yes, you do have to get up. I feel more than likely get on a bus, and go. So, during the election, how many times did the Democrats send buses in to pick up people to come and vote?
Oh, exactly. But they can't do that to get
right. So I don't look at it that way. I look at it as I think they are capable of getting up and going and getting the ID, and because I just don't understand the the racist part of it. But I
don't get that
don't
either. Well, I
you,
mean, they make it racist, is what they say. They say they don't have access to computers. They don't have access to get these things. I mean, they just degrade them right to their faces, and they're like, "Hey, you're right. We don't have that.
Yeah.
Boo, Republicans." It's like, are you guys kidding me? Like, nobody sees this? This is so
insane.
obvious. It's blatantly obvious.
The other side is demeaning them. We are not. We think they are capable of doing this. We think
that's not how they see it, though. That's not how they see it.
Well, that's because
that's not how it's portrayed to them.
As I told
they need their votes.
That's the ignorance of the liberal left, is that they don't know these things. They only know what they're told. So
correct. And so as far as candidates go, I think the obvious to me, and I know people are going to say Trump. I listen. I think Trump served a purpose. I loved his presidency. I loved what he stood for. I loved how he acted. I don't care what anybody says. I think he still should be in there. Obviously, he illegally is not. Having said that, I don't think I want him to run again in 2024.
No,
I think he's polarizing enough.
Yeah.
Not for me, not for people with a brain, but it's just not. So I hope he doesn't. And for me, and I'd hate to lose this guy. I hope it's Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida.
Yeah,
would hate to lose him. But that guy is spot on.
He's my front runner. I would like to. And then again, anybody that listens to this show hears this name a lot, and I don't know if he has any desire to be president. I have no clue, but
maybe vice president though.
Yeah, I would love to see Tim Scott as vice president. I really would. I think he literally. We always heard how Obama always tried to bring people together, and that's not true, folks. He did not try to bring people
together.
More
divisive than anybody.
I think Tim Scott would actually try to bring people together. But whatever they decide, wherever they go, I like Donald Trump being where he's at and telling us, here are the people that he supports. Here's the individuals that he do, and then let us get that opportunity, because this next election can't be. We all know he's polarizing, like you said. And so this next election can't be something about him. It's got to be about us, us in the United States, and
the message,
making people understand that stop listening to the left, who, and I'm going to get into some overreaching things here with the socialist government that they want to go to. But, this is very important, and this next midterm election is the way that, we're not going to be able to change any laws because Biden's still going to have the veto thing over everything, but we can stop the crap from going on.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when we take back the White House, because I don't know how a president, and I think I saw on Fox News where his numbers, I think, have gone lower than Kamala Harris's. And
really?
Yeah. And
if that is possible,
if that is the case, that is terrible.
Terrible.
So, and again, most of these polls that you see are heavily favored Democrat polls, right? I mean, that's
normally
where we always go to.
Normally.
And so if that's the case, he's losing his own party, which
I don't think he's running again.
They tried too much. They tried to push too many things in too quickly, and
right in front of our eyes and ears.
And thank God, thank God for people like Manchin, stood up to him and said, no,
you better stay that way. You better stay that way.
Well, the thing that scares me, there's a few things in there that if they take out, that he's already said he would vote for. So
which I think they will do in order to get that, so he can so Biden can pound his weak little feeble chest and tell everybody that, I got the Build Back Better bill, or whatever that thing's called.
He did save Christmas. Yeah, and can you answer me a question?
Mm-hmm.
The unemployment rate came out just over 4%.
Yep.
Do people out there actually believe we are at 4% unemployment?
Anybody who went to a store, a restaurant, a gas station, anybody with a brain that was out in public this past year, even this past month, though, just say past month, how many stores and restaurants were short-staffed because they can't get employees to work.
Yeah.
But the unemployment rate is just over 4%. Well, thank God for the Biden administration, and their hard efforts to get us jobs.
And folks, keep in mind when the unemployment rate was literally 4 or less under Donald Trump, it was because there were so many jobs out there that it was competition that was causing people moving on. Because in order to keep people, because the economy was doing so well, in order to keep people at your facility, you had to raise your prices or your salaries. You had to raise the hourly wages. You had to, which by the way, government should not do.
Yeah.
Right. Competition should do it. Yeah. And it did. Competition raised everybody up. And so, but now that's not what's going on because we're still paying people to stay home with this child benefit.
Yeah.
So
sit at home. Sit at home, do nothing. Be non-productive
we got to change
citizens.
We got to change it. We have to because I went to.
It's the worst I've seen. I mean, I've never experienced this in my life, and I'm talking not just the unemployment, but I'm talking, supply shortages. I mean, you name it. I mean,
there's no supply shortages.
I mean, I know you and I.
That was just made up. That was no
made
supply
up. According to Pete Buttifuck or what's his name?
Yeah,
Pete Buttigieg.
Buttigieg. Mayor Pete.
Okay. Yeah, Mayor Petey, who breastfeeds his child, by the way.
Which is hey, to each their own.
Good for him. Yeah, to each their own.
To each their own.
I mean,
I don't agree with his politics.
I don't either. I don't agree with his politics. He can do what he wants there. Yeah. And honestly, I feel, a good small village in Africa could probably feed off your breasts. So I'm just, so not a bad idea.
Wow.
I think, and you should do your part. I mean, it is the season.
God. Holy cow.
For just 30 cents a day, Jim could feed a village.
And I want to mark this as 31 minutes into our show, and then you finally insulted me for the first time.
Was it really that long?
Yeah, 31 minutes. That was pretty good.
It's a Christmas miracle.
It is.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah.
Anyways, I mean, I'm just pointing out some things you could do to help fellow mankind. Anyways, that's who my thought is as far as like the nominee. Can get back to that. Ron DeSantis, Tim Scott. I mean, either that.
Well, I don't know if Tim Scott's
dynamic pair. I don't think. I don't either. I don't know.
I don't think he's ready. I don't think he's ready to be president. I just don't believe that's the case.
I think outside of the political spectrum, somebody who's not really political, who I might like to see run. I don't really know. I mean, I know there's the people like the Candace Owens who are just great.
The obvious
ones. Other than that, though, I don't really know of many outside the political arena. And as far as other people who could, I know Ted Cruz is saying he's gonna. I don't think Ted Cruz should run personally. Although he was my guy before Trump, going back then. I mean, he was, and I like Ted Cruz and I like what he stands for. I just don't think he could win. I don't think he could win. Ted Cruz to me is too.
My wife was a Cruz guy. She did not like Donald Trump going into this thing. But when Donald Trump became president, I did it again. My wife said she started liking it and just he did what and surprise, he actually did what he said he was going to do.
Oh my gosh.
He did. It wasn't the wall. And I'm glad to hear Texas is going to head with it and building it.
Me too.
Cause it's just, I can't. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's all. We can discuss that further.
Yeah. Well, we'll get more into that.
Whole next year is it's a midterm year. It's going to be a lot of political news, a lot of mudslinging and lies and fake news stories, and it's going to be a lot to talk about next year. That's for sure.
And we want to point out, because the one thing I like about people like Glenn Beck, Rush Limbaugh, Mark Levin. They actually, God rest his soul, Rush, but they actually tell you, don't just listen to us, don't listen to them. The conservative part of us tells you, go out and look. Here's the information we have. Here's the information we're giving you. Go look at it.
Yep.
You and I, we have to stomach looking at CNN MSNBC to research for the show. I mean, because we don't want to be that guy, right? We don't want to be that guy. And but if we can do that, other people can go on to Newsmax, Fox News, and do all this stuff and research it. And
well, that's what I'm saying. The opposition can do this. The people who think differently than us, they also should take the time to do that. I mean, make up your own mind. I mean, there's Brandon Straka, Brandon Straka, I believe. He was the guy who started the walkaway movement. So if that sounds familiar to you, he was a full-blown Democrat. He's a gay male, full-blown Democrat. Started hearing some stories about Trump, started doing the research on his own. Bam, that was it. He said, this is bull crap. There are lies, nothing but lies. I mean, he couldn't have been a bigger advocate for Trump than anybody. You do some research, you'd be surprised at what you might find. We, like you said, you and I research the other side. Yeah. It doesn't surprise me what I find.
Watch Trump cash. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Yep.
There's some other homosexuals that did the same thing.
Yep, exactly.
They
were told a lie, fed a lie.
Yeah. It's like, look, the misnomer. We don't. I know we have a religious conservative side, okay, that doesn't necessarily agree with this, but for the most part, we don't care who you are. We don't care what you do. We don't care. No. I don't care if you're a transgender. I don't care, and most conservatives don't, as long as you don't live off the dole, don't ask for free stuff, and let's help. And let's help the people that need help. Yep, because a lot of the people that need help aren't getting help because people that are more than capable of going out and getting jobs are taking it.
Correct.
So instead of getting angry at Trump or at us, the Republicans or the billionaires, because, I don't understand how somebody can make that much money, it doesn't matter. They do. And it's so we can't, you're going to run out of their money in a socialist government.
Of course.
And so I don't know. We look at all this stuff, and it's just frustrating in a whole scheme of things.
It's frustrating. Do you want to talk about anything real quick, or do you want me to? I want a couple more things, or
I want to bring up a couple things, and one of the things that we want to do is Rand Paul is an individual that is loved by conservatives, and sometimes he's not liked by conservatives. Sometimes. So that probably means he's doing a good job. So
agreed.
But I just want to point out, whenever Rand Paul talks about COVID, he knows what he's talking about.
That's correct.
He is a physician. Okay.
He's a doctor. He wasn't practicing.
Yes. And so he knows what he's talking about. He is going after Fauci because he knows that Fauci is not a good guy. There are some bad things about Fauci.
Many bad things about Fauci.
So, the left is destroying him. They're trying to destroy him. And whenever he talks about something that is an economic bill or a stimulus bill, when he is against it, listen to what he has to say.
Correct.
Because he does not like a $3 trillion bill and only half of that money goes to what it's supposed to go for.
Correct.
The other half is pork and crap that some people get that goes to entertainment and arts and all that stuff.
Correct.
And that's not what these bills should be. All right. If somebody wants to put a bill out there to say, okay, the Kennedy Center needs $25 million, then put a bill out there.
Put a separate bill.
Yeah, and let it be voted on.
Yep,
right.
Correct.
Or have them go out to how many billion-dollar donors do they have to the organization? Why do the taxpayers have to do that?
Well,
especially
that's the easiest thing to do.
But
taxpayer always gets screwed.
So, but anyway, he is somebody that I think you need to listen to. Not everything that he says we agree with. Not everything.
Of course not. But like you said, because of that fact, he's probably more honest than we even like to admit.
Yeah,
that.
And one of the other things that I wanted to talk about, Tim Scott, along with John Kennedy, Republican from Louisiana, introduced a bill called Protecting Access to Credit for Small Business Act. And basically what this is where a government overreach, where the government is for the small business, like for the smaller banks, credit unions, they are funding the money to these credit unions. So
the government is.
Yes. So it's a government reach. It's a government overtake. They're trying to overtake small business. And so they're coming out and they got this bill. No, let the banks do their own loans. Okay. And so it's for basically for private institutions. And it's for us as American people and those of us who want to start our small businesses or need a small business loan. You don't have to pay them plus the government.
Yeah. I mean, smart. Makes sense. The government, though, I feel, believes they own the banking system.
Yep.
Obviously.
Well, the government wants to own everything. This particular government wants to own everything.
Yeah. Federally insured, FDIC. I mean, the whole.
Go out and research Tim Scott out there, folks. I know some people don't. Yeah, and some people don't know, but the child care proposal that is in the Build Back Better bill, he wanted to put this in a way that we could understand. With median income at $34,000, okay, you take taxes out, and the cost of child care is now more than your take-home pay.
Wow.
Okay, literally providing child care for one kid is more than the take-home pay of the average income in our nation. That's in the Build
for a long time too.
That's in the Build Back Better bill. It makes it worse.
Yeah, makes it worse.
So our Republicans are trying to stop this, not because we're evil, not because they want to. They don't
believe
like
in child care,
and they don't want to help. They don't want to help the needy and everything. They do want to help the needy. They do want, but this isn't the way to do it.
No, it's not.
How many times have we talked about this? Somebody needs to point out to me how many times throwing money at a problem has fixed the problem.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
I don't believe it ever has. The welfare system is a perfect example.
Started off. I mean, great. I understand it, and like a lot of programs, good intentions, right?
Right.
We know that it always things like that get taken advantage of. The welfare system has fully been taken advantage of and compromised for sure. Yep. So throwing money at something does not cure the problem. Although sponsorship money to our podcast might help us.
Might help us. Yeah.
Right, let's not be hasty.
Yeah.
With what we want.
Yeah, I have no problem. No problem.
No problem with that money being thrown here. Jim, I want to talk about your good friend. And I believe it was your AOC of the week last week. Mr. Lori Lightfoot. Mrs. Lori Lightfoot. Chicago's mayor.
I've actually donated half my salary to her this year.
You should.
Oh my gosh, she's wonderful. I want her to run for president because I think
well, as she should, because she's so. I mean, you know. I mean,
Gordon Lightfoot has been wonderful. But go ahead. We'll talk.
Anyways, while over the Christmas holiday and just after, obviously, Miss Lightfoot, along with her partner, who looks like a guy, really. I mean, I'll throw up a picture there, but holy smokes! I mean, I actually thought it was a guy. I thought she was gay, Lori Lightfoot. Well, it is, but it's a guy it's a woman, but it looks like a guy. No problem with that either.
Which there is nothing wrong with that.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. At some point you gotta. I feel that if you're a lesbian, which is fine. Again, I have zero problems with it. You could maybe, I don't know, doll yourself up a little. I don't know what the story is. I don't know how to make it better.
Well, you might want to move on.
I know I just made it worse. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to wear men's clothes is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or get a man's haircut. Let the hair grow a little. Yeah. Anyways, over the weekend, there were 22 shootings over the weekend in Chicago.
Yep.
Lori Lightfoot, Chicago. Chicago already has more than 800 homicide deaths in 2021. That's the most violent year in a quarter century.
Mm-hmm.
People there love her. But it's not true. I don't know how it happens when people there love her. But anyway, she was celebrating, she was given a Kwanzaa message. Kwanzaa, okay, that holiday. I don't know much about it. I really don't. But I did do a little research on where Kwanzaa came from, if you're interested in hearing that. So the story that maybe some people do or do not know, Kwanzaa is basically a fake holiday. Now, people can say, well, isn't every holiday a fake holiday? I mean, you have a day and you're celebrating it, so you just made a holiday. I mean, there's some argument to that, right?
Yeah, right.
But Kwanzaa is a holiday that was created in 1966, the year I was born. I know I look younger than that, but that's the year I was born. By Black radical Ron Everett. Went by an alias, a.k.a., I'm going to screw this name up, I'm telling you, Dr. Molana Karenga. That was Ron Everett, decided to go by Dr. Molana. A violent felon who tortured 2 naked black women. So Deborah Jones, who was once given the Swahili title of the African Queen, said she and Gail Davis, 2 women, were whipped with an electrical cord and beaten with a karate baton after being ordered to remove their clothes by Mr. Ron Everett, a.k.a. Dr. Molana Karenga, the person who started Kwanzaa. Mm-hmm. This happened in 1971. So that was 5 years after he started Kwanzaa. Does that sound like a holiday? Does that? Am I wrong? I mean, you can celebrate a lot of things, but being whipped with batons and all that. I mean, that might be a holiday you like. No. I don't know, but I'm just saying it's bullshit. It's a bullshit.
Don't knock it till you try it. But anyway,
I agree. Happy Kwanzaa.
But it's better when you're cuffed. But anyway, I digress.
That's how it started. I mean, that's the guy who started this. This is what.
You mean I could start my own religious holiday?
I mean, you can, especially with some of the activities you conduct yourself in. I can't even imagine what that would be called.
I know. Gym World. I keep talking about Gym World would be so fun to live in. But anyway,
World,
go ahead.
Wouldn't it? Yeah, it would be. Yeah. I bet the suicide rate would be super high is all I'm saying.
Oh, no. I doubt it.
Oh, yeah, because who'd live there? But anyway.
The NFL would be down to 30 teams. But go ahead.
Yeah, I know that too. San Francisco and Pittsburgh.
Actually, no, Indianapolis and Pittsburgh.
Oh, my God, you hate. Oh, okay. All right. Anyways, Biden tweeted out on Kwanzaa as well because I'm sure he did the research and knows the story.
They don't know this stuff. They never do.
He said, as we begin the 7 days of Kwanzaa, to be honest with you, I didn't even know there were 7 days of it.
Wasn't it 7 swans of swimming?
Yeah. I think it was, but it's 7 Kwanzaa celebrating. Jill and I send our best wishes to everyone celebrating. May this time of reflection on the rich heritage of African American culture bring peace, unity, and joy.
So when was
rich heritage?
But help me here. When was it an African American holiday? What makes it an African American holiday then?
Because Mr. Ron Everett, a.k.a. Dr. Molana Karenga, who beats women with batons and electrical cords and makes them get naked, says so. Because he says so.
Okay. Well,
happy Kwanzaa.
Good job.
Good job. Happy Kwanzaa. I mean, you can look it up, and really, if I'm wrong, if there's something I missed, please tell me.
That's awesome. I did not know that. Thank you.
Well, there you go. You're welcome. Good. I mean, I'm just, now you probably want to celebrate Kwanzaa even more. No?
Oh no, I am going to start my own religious holiday.
You are Gym World. I mean, that's a world. That's not the holiday. No. It's just a world we live in.
No,
we live in Jim's world.
Gay bathhouse. I'm gonna start it, and it's gonna be a holiday. Woo!
It might as well be. I'd say it'd be less controversial than Kwanzaa, but
it depends.
It depends. Anyway, so I just thought I'd give you some Kwanzaa news, and Lori Lightfoot, sending out her Kwanzaa message for peace, and they
don't, and that's people don't know.
they just don't know. They're just like Kwanzaa, I mean, it's just what they. It's like Juneteenth to me. What happened with Juneteenth? They couldn't come up with a better name. I'm okay if they celebrate it. Doesn't have a problem with it.
Celebrate whatever you want.
Juneteenth, that's the best you could come up with. Anyways, we already talked about Dr. Fuck Me Fauci, who says cancel your New Year's plans. Don't be with any. You know that we already know the top 5 symptoms of Omicron, right?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, one known person has died of it still. Mm-hmm. Still one that they can pinpoint has died of this. So there are as many people who died of Omicron as Alec Baldwin killed, just so you know. But we have to shut down the world. It's true.
Well, I think we should shut down Alec Baldwin then.
Well, I think so too. For good.
Yes.
And I think I used to like. I mean, I like his movies, and I think he's funny. But
just like a lot of others, when you open your mouth,
a lot of others, you open your mouth, you screw up the whole thing. You want to go on to something? I've got a billion other things. I kid you not. This is crazy. I do. How much news I got?
I do want to talk about this because I think this, folks, we need to be careful of this. Okay. We have discharged 169 Marines that are refusing vaccines. Now, in case of you liberals out there, Marines are part of our protective forces. Okay, I know you probably don't know that. I just want to let you know.
Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, they probably don't.
The people who actually protect us while you're standing in the streets bitching because we use he and she. All right. So I just want to say that all these individuals that are supporting your right to do that, 169 have been sent home, and that number is going to get higher.
Oh, for sure.
Not only are they releasing them, they are going to punish them, and at which we don't know what the punishment is.
What is the punishment going to be?
Probably a dishonorable discharge. Which, by the way, is not good to have on your record. But this is just because now religious, right?
Yeah.
How many? We are not getting vaccine based on religious. Zero exemptions. Zero exemptions have not been given to the Marines. So, guys, this is getting stupid. I mean, this is getting downright stupid.
And it's going to get dangerous. What they don't understand is that these things are going to happen. You're going to have less people protecting us. It's just like the airline pilots, 2,000 Delta pilot. Was it Delta? American United. Sorry, 2,000. I don't want to get the wrong airline. 2,000 United pilots and flight attendants, 2,000 total, have been let go because these are people flying our freaking plane. Who's flying my plane? I don't take United anyways. I think they suck. But who's flying the plane? And who's going to protect us in times of need if they start getting rid of these people over a virus that is killing nobody? Nobody.
But these are pilots that never come into contact with passengers.
Yeah, they sit in a cockpit, for God's
sake. It's not like they high-five the passengers. Hey, nice landing. Way to go. Woohoo. It's not like we do that. They stay in the cockpit.
Yep. Yeah,
they're in the cockpit when we get on board, and they're the last ones to leave.
Correct.
This is getting insane, folks.
It's insane. It's insane. And the lockdowns, they don't work. My AOC of the week, I have this kind of falls in line with that, so I won't go any further with the COVID discussion. But it's literally this is a virus that anybody can get. Mm-hmm. The symptoms are runny nose, fatigue. Fatigue's the main one. Fatigue. I'm fatigued every freaking day. Yeah. I'm fatigued. I'm fatigued all the time. I guess I got Omicron. I've got COVID. Forever. And next year is going to be another one. Next year is going to be another one. There'll be 5. I have no idea. Enough of the bullshit already. I don't know how many boosters we're going to have to get. And, like I said, we get boosted till we got tails growing out of our assholes. I mean, I don't know, right? Enough already. Stop the nonsense.
I get tired because it's, I'm overweight and out of shape. So
what?
So again, from a liberal standpoint, it's not my fault. It's Omicron's fault that I'm tired all the time. Even though I test negative for it, but it doesn't matter.
Doesn't
So,
matter. You have
God,
it.
I'm starting to like this. I'm starting to like
know.
this liberal side of things, man. This is
You're a liberal. You're a liberal at heart. Truthfully,
This is kind of fun. Nothing's ever my fault.
Nothing is ever your fault. This has nothing to do with anything other than I think that you would find this interesting because this does directly affect you personally. That just a little bit of maybe.
So it's either cross-dressing or weight.
Nothing. Neither. Neither of those. I mean, oddly enough, neither of those.
Okay.
But France is blocking Pornhub, the website. So, just so you know, until they verify
why would that affect me? I don't live in France.
Correct. I'm just telling you, this could be a trickle down effect to the United States because they're not assuring that everybody on there is 18 and above. Pretty frightening when you think about it.
Yeah, they do. They ask a question.
I don't think it's people watching. I think it's people you're watching, bro. Is who they don't know. I don't think it's you. I think it's the people you watch daily around the clock on this porn website that you personally watch. You don't even know if they're 18 or above, just so you know. But France is blocking that, as well as 4 other porn sites, which I'm sure you're familiar with. X Hamster, that's a big one for you because you like gerbils and hamsters.
Oh dear Lord.
X Videos and another one called Tuckif, Tukif. I don't even know what that means, but those 4 sites are now being they have until next Tuesday, I think, to assure that all their people on there are 18 and above. And if that happens, if they don't, then France will ban them. And it might happen across the globe, which then directly affects you. That's why I wanted to bring it up.
It won't happen.
It
won't happen. It won't happen because a homosexual transgender will run it, and so we can't go against them.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
There you go.
Man, you got loopholes everywhere.
Yeah,
for these things.
That's exactly right.
Every person with an addictive personality has loopholes to.
And what helps if they're an illegal lesbian and transgender, they'll run the country.
They'll run the country for sure. For sure. Absolutely. Yeah. But anyway, that's just a couple things I wanted to go. I still have a couple more, but I'll let you kind of talk now, unless you want to get into top 5 crap.
I do not look at porn sites. Thank you, Dale, but I appreciate that. Mom, if you're listening, I do not.
He doesn't stop.
Let's start. Let's get into some sports before we get into the top 5.
As we're recording this, we're already talking about it. I hope it's not that sports, but we will. We already. I feel as we're recording this that you see my picture up on a little teeny screen, and the big portion of the screen has got porn. I believe.
With the volume down.
You don't need the volume. I mean, you don't need it. You don't need it.
Where do you think I got
you make your own noises.
Where do you think I got all that stuff from anyway?
I know. Anyways, all right, let's get into some sports. Jim, what do you want to talk about?
Well, I want to talk. No, we're not bringing it up. Okay. So the Cincinnati Reds. No, just kidding. If anybody doesn't know, as long as COVID doesn't cancel them, we have two big games coming up Friday. One at 3:30. I think it's 4:30 kickoff, but it's the Final Four, and I want to give my prediction.
Yes,
and what I would love to see happen. Okay, outside of this,
which might be different than a prediction, but
okay, but first, let me get into COVID is shutting down the NHL. We've had some football games moved again. College basketball games are being canceled. Everything's being canceled.
Correct.
Now, if Alabama, let's say, has to lose 20 players, all right, they got 5 stars behind them to come up, right?
Yeah.
So they're fine.
Maybe.
Cincinnati loses 20 players.
Oh, that's their entire team, basically.
Yeah. And so I'm curious to see how this goes. I'm curious to see what goes from this standpoint, because I honestly just like I feel with the NFL Super Bowl. Let's say the Chiefs play the Packers, and both Aaron Rodgers and Pat Mahomes have COVID. Folks, they're playing.
They're playing.
Okay. If
it's all bull crap.
They're vaccinated, and what really bothers me now, these players that are being forced to sit out are vaccinated and boosted players. Yeah. What more do you want them to do? What more do you want these teams to do? And I go with that because of what the Cleveland Browns and the Los Angeles Rams had to go through recently. And oh, by the way, I don't think there's any much more to do in Cleveland than there is in Cincinnati. But we'll move on to the other thing.
Well, I mean, that's debatable.
My prediction. Go into that. Oh, sorry, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Ooh. And we
could fly directly into the city. But anyways.
Wow. Okay, so my prediction is obviously Alabama is going to beat Cincinnati. Now, for you bettors out there, be very careful because Alabama is going to jump out to a huge lead, and
rest all their guys.
And Cincinnati's going to come back. It's what happens. It happened Oklahoma a few years ago, and it's just
the spread's only 13.5 or something. Isn't it? What's the spread on it?
Oh, I thought it was more than that.
I swore it was 14, then it went to 13.
Oh my God!
It settled at 13.5 or something.
Well, maybe you want to take Alabama.
That's what I'm saying. Before you give your betting advice, maybe you need to research.
Well, no, I could
be wrong.
All I want to say is just be looking at that and be careful. Now, here's the game that I'm most intrigued to watch. The Georgia defense. We'll see. We'll see how real the defense is now that they've played one really good offense and now they're playing another good offense. But
Decent
it's
offense.
Georgia's defense against the running backs of Michigan. Yeah, all right, let's face it. That's where the game's going to be. And because I don't think Georgia's going to be able to move the ball against Michigan's defense. So this is going to be a very ugly and boring game, similar to the 9-6 score or the 6-3 score that Alabama. I just think it's going to be an ugly game.
You think it's going to be low scoring?
Yeah, and I think Georgia's going to.
Didn't Georgia's quarterback have COVID or something? Or he's good. He'll
be back anyway. So. But I think Georgia will beat Michigan, and then I think it's going to be a rematch of Alabama and Georgia. And to much the chagrin of people out there across college football, Alabama will win another national championship.
Yeah, back to back. They'll win another one. So, yes. Okay. So my prediction is not too dissimilar from yours. Alabama, I think, manhandle Cincinnati. I just do.
Yep.
I would like it not to happen for sure. But it's going to happen. In the other game, I certainly hope Georgia beats freaking Michigan. That's all I can say. Hope they destroy them somehow. I don't know if that's going to happen. You're right. Could be low scoring. It could be. I hope it's just Michigan is just overwhelmed and baffled. They are running their mouths. I mean, they are running their mouths. And it's been a long time since they've been there. You should probably act a little classier. I think, of course, I hate Michigan, so it doesn't matter what they say. I think they're unclassy sons of bitches. Mm-hmm. But they should be, I think a little bit more humble about where they're at. But I think that comes from coaching because the coach is an idiot. So I do think Georgia's going to win. I do think you're going to get a rematch of Georgia-Alabama. I think there's no way Georgia then beats Alabama.
Yeah,
I still think Alabama. I think Alabama's got too much offensive firepower.
If George,
one or two of those receivers are going to be, going the first round, and Jameson might be the first receiver taken off the board. I don't know. Yeah. Jameson Williams,
and I just don't think Georgia has the offense to do it. I don't
think they do either.
Because we all know that to beat Alabama, you're going to have to score points, and I just don't see that.
The SEC has 12 teams in bowl games.
Yeah,
and right now they're 0-3. So
look, we've talked about this before. That I think this is probably one of the worst years for the SEC in a long time because outside of the top two, it hasn't been as strong. I mean, Florida's not very good. Of course, they're probably going to come back and say the rest of the conference just got better.
Yeah,
that's probably the excuse. Which I just can't wait to see how Texas and Oklahoma do in that conference. Oklahoma,
although Texas is getting some studs because they're paying them well. They're paying them well.
Texas has always gotten studs.
Well, that's true.
They in
Oklahoma,
you're right. You guys, Oklahoma and Texas, recruit defensive players because your defense
you're
giving up.
Them.
Yeah,
you're gonna need them
because you're facing 5 stars. When you're playing in the Big 12, the only time you face 5 stars is when you're playing yourselves. When you're playing,
right.
when Texas plays Oklahoma.
Texas plays Oklahoma. Correct.
Yep, so right. I think I get it. The money in Texas is just incredible. With as bad as that team has been, for that football team has been, still tons of money being poured in there. Lincoln Riley has gone from Oklahoma. Curious to see what the defensive coach from Clemson does with them. Very interesting to see.
I agree.
But
good hire, I think. I think a good hire.
I think it was time. I really do.
Too. They needed to go defense.
Yeah,
and he got a head coach job. I think.
Well, look at Oklahoma State. I mean, they lost in the Big 12 championship game. But their defense was better.
Yep, correct.
And and Baylor's defense was better. So maybe some of these teams are starting to recognize that if look, we love to watch points, right? Yeah. I mean, you love to sit there and watch. I mean, there was a quarterback this over the weekend that threw for 525 yards, and it was just fun to watch that. I didn't mention the team. I didn't mention the team, Dale. But
Ohio State graduate.
That's right. But we love to watch scoring. I mean, that's one of the reasons why the Big 12 is fun to watch at times.
It is. It's fun to watch. Well, we like scoring's better than defensive games.
Exactly.
I mean, it doesn't matter what.
Exactly. So it'll be fun. I think we're going to get. I hope we get close games. I do think Michigan and Georgia. Now that I said that, everybody's going to take the under, and they're going to miss it.
Yeah,
I'm going to get hate mail.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't think you're exactly wrong.
Hey, I'm betting $10,000 of your money on the under for that game.
You are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I don't know where you got $10,000 of my money. I don't know where I would have got $10,000 of my money.
It's none of your business.
It is none of my business. It is none of my business. And you got a buddy, I think, that is a big Notre Dame fan, right?
Yeah, but I'm not allowed to say anything bad about it anymore.
Okay, I agree. You shouldn't, so I will. They are now 0-24 as starters. Notre Dame quarterbacks are now 0-24 as starters in the NFL. 0-24.
Ian Book. Yep, awesome.
0-24. Not a one.
Well,
not a one.
Let's
again.
Face it.
And the Browns had 2 of them.
He's and I hope. All right. They've never had a good quarterback.
Never?
Ever.
Now you're lying because
Stop
that's not true.
I know that's not true.
Yeah, you know that's not true. So they have.
I know that's not true.
Yeah.
And don't even say his name.
I'm not going to say his name because you want him dead.
He will who not be named.
Montana. Anyways. We'll move on. What other sports? Anything in sports? Other than sad news, John Madden.
Oh my God! And I want to.
It's a tough one.
Now,
good guy, fun to listen to.
My son is mid-20s.
Yeah.
Now he knows about John Madden because I talk about John Madden when he was coach and everything else.
Yeah.
But how many today? And not even just age 20, but how many people today that are playing Madden only know him from the Madden games?
From the Madden.
One of the most fun coaches to watch.
Oh,
I mean, he was fun to watch. He was just a phenomenal. Retired,
super nice guy.
Retired early. Could have kept coaching. Could have continued to coach.
Yeah, could have.
Went into the booth and had a great career in the booth.
Pat Summerall.
Yeah, with, come on.
Michaels. I mean, he had a lot of partners, but him and Pat Summerall were the two.
Yep.
I mean, that's just
they were. I mean, I liked, oh my goodness gracious. My mind is going crazy. Worked NBC games.
Al Michaels?
No. Worked with,
Well, this is embarrassing.
Anyway, yeah, it's just really embarrassing. I'm sorry, but
you just had a Joe Biden moment.
And he was an Indiana grad too. Oh my god!
Oh, this is even.
See, I got you. You know who he is, don't you?
I know, but I don't know who. I don't know the name. I don't know. It's not popping to me who you're talking about.
Yeah.
So, if it comes to you later in the show,
I can see his voice,
like
but
Tourette's.
But anyway, it's John Madden. It was very sad. There's a special going on. There's a special going on. Yeah, about that, and because he was talking about the Cowboys from the heydays when my friend who likes Notre Dame's also a big Dallas fan. So
really?
Yeah.
Really?
So
all right. So your friend is. I mean, it's a lot of suffering as well, being Notre Dame and Dallas fans. Even though Dallas heyday back in the '90s, well, I mean, they had Roger Staubach. They had those days. Dallas had much success in the NFL. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, a lot more than my team.
A lot more, 100% more than my team. So I can't make fun of them. I've never been a Dallas hater. A lot of people are. I just have not been a Cowboys hater.
I have no. I don't like their owner.
I like Jerry Jones, man.
I see. I think that team.
He's a goof, and I like him.
Yeah, I just. No, there's no reason this team has not won more Super Bowls than they have, and
I agree with that.
They haven't, but no, I have no issues.
You think Jerry
with
Jones
that.
has? You don't think? You think he's been the reason?
Oh yeah,
the one signing the players, the one paying for everything, the one that's his decisions on head coaching choices. Maybe that's the only thing I can say. Who else? What other decisions has he made?
Well, he has a lot of player decisions. I mean, from what I understand,
I agree.
Again,
so what are you saying? Like which players? I don't know who you're talking about that could have turned. Huh?
Okay, if you look at the Tony Romo, I cannot stand the guy at all. But when you looked at those teams, there is no reason that those quarterback coach Tony Romo teams, not one time they made it to the Super Bowl or even the NFC Championship game. That is not. He is not. They don't have a general manager.
I'm gonna punch you. Anyways, next time I see you. So I guess it was Jerry Jones' fault that Tony Romo dropped the extra point snap. Right. So Jerry Jones. Yeah.
Yeah, because Tony Romo should have been. I would have let him go.
And hence why you sit there with a goofy Bengals
hat of course,
in front of Indiana University memorabilia, and then something in the back, Jim. I would keep wanting to ask you this every week. That other day when that guy asked you if you wanted to pay in threes and all that male prostitute that was at your house, that I heard in the background.
Yes.
What is that? What did he drop off that thing in the back? Is that like Pete Rose or Johnny Bench? Like
it's Johnny. It's Johnny Bench.
What is it? Can you bring it closer? No, you probably can't.
Sure.
Show, but can you? Oh my God! What you got? Bobbleheads, bro?
Yes, I do.
Oh my God! What like? Is it signed or something?
No, it's just a baseball card.
Did you make that, or did your kids make that, or did you?
It was given to me as a present.
From?
And this was from my lovely wife. This is a signed microphone for Marty Brenneman's induction into the Broadcasters Hall of Fame. This was very special.
Marty Brenneman is something everybody should know this person? Or?
If you don't, I have no use to talk to you anymore. So
well, you have no use to talk to anybody that doesn't have anything to do with stupid Cincinnati.
He's radio guy for the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah.
He and Joe Nuxall, the lefty.
Is he still alive and still doing it?
God rest his soul. That was very sad.
Okay. That was very for you.
But Marty Brenneman's still alive.
His family. Oh, okay.
Hey, look, anyway, the Reds are very.
My lovely wife got me this new grunt style sweatshirt, which that's who I would like to have a sponsorship from.
Yeah, and but grunt style,
that thing is spiffy, bro. Spiffy.
I will wear those.
You should, and you should. You should go. You should get some. I suggest everybody get some. They last forever. They make great clothing. You can even find them at Bass Pro Shops. I found out too. So, what is that?
My Harry Potter coffee mug.
Not even like, how do we get from grunt style, veteran owned company, 200 employees, to a Harry Potter cup.
Always
now the show goes by that we don't have to hear about your
always
Harry
have
Potter.
to have. Always have to have a Harry Potter reference. Anyway,
that's probably what you name it. Look at my Harry Potter. Touch my Harry Potter.
Okay. All right.
If you tease my Harry Potter, it becomes a Gryffindor or whatever. I don't know.
So, ESPN.
Yes.
I'm starting to hate this station.
Network.
But my son was telling me this, that they sent out this thing and they basically said, Bengal fans, don't get too overly excited about your performance because it was this is the same Ravens team that it was a 2-point conversion away of beating the Packers. Aaron Rodgers didn't throw for over 400 yards against them.
Correct.
So the little things like that just kind of piss me off. You got quarterback, and Justin Herbert is a great young quarterback. Okay, he lost to the Texans.
Oh,
terrible. He threw a really bad interception.
Terrible.
But we don't see it. The love affair that everybody has with Justin Herbert, and I'm telling you, he is a talent.
And Patrick Mahomes.
He is. But at least Patrick Mahomes won a Super Bowl. Okay, let's wait to put the gold jacket on Justin Herbert at this time.
Yeah.
Now, on the head-to-head, he did better than Joe Burrow did. Okay, he did. But but you don't hear about how well he kind of cost the team that game. You have to hear about how Baker Mayfield cost Cleveland the football game.
Because he did.
Well, okay, but it's that same vein. You got all these guys, but we always have to make excuses for the Justin Herberts of the world, the Pat Mahomes of the world, and everything else. And it just irritates the heck out of me. And we're still having people out there that are apologizing or not apologists for Ben Roethlisberger. Sorry, the guy needs to retire.
Oh my God.
And by the way, there's a quarterback that has 1,000 more passing yards and 10 more passing touchdowns.
Wait.
Than a quarterback that is in the Pro Bowl, and this quarterback is not.
Quarterback playing right now.
Yep. Well, this quarterback not playing right now. He's hurt, but Lamar Jackson.
Oh, correct.
And Joe Burrow is not.
Yeah.
I'm.
So we got full circle back to your Homer bullshit.
Back to the Bengals
crap. I mean, I'm going to let you talk about them every show because they're doing fine, and you can talk about them. I talk about the Buckeyes. I have nothing to say about the Browns other than Baker Mayfield is not the guy. Not the guy.
So right now in this
topsy-turvy. Wait. Before you interrupt me for the 150th time today.
Really?
Baker Mayfield, I love his passion. I love his dedication. I love his willingness to put work in. He's not the guy. That's all. Not the guy. Move on.
He might not be.
I don't know. No, they're gonna get his option because who else are we gonna? Who else do you put in there?
This might be the perfect time. This might be the perfect time for him because the draft. There's really nothing. I don't think there's
lucky.
any.
I think he's getting lucky.
Yeah, and it is. It's the timing at that point. But
all right, I'm done talking about Baker Mayfield.
In this topsy-turvy NFL season, I mean, because this is crazy, right?
Yep.
The NFC has 5 teams now that have locked in, and there's 2 open positions left. The AFC has 1 team locked in, 16 teams vying for a playoff spot. This I think is what,
including the resurgence of the Miami Dolphins.
Oh yeah!
Now won the first team in NFL history to have a 7-game losing streak and a 7-game winning streak in the same season.
Amazing.
They're 8-7, and they're in position to go to the playoffs.
But what I like about it is, everyone talking about, Miami needs to trade for Deshaun Watson because Tua is not the quarterback, and Tua is just 70% passing, 70% passing. No, he's not going to dazzle you. He's not going to put up 400 yards a game. That's not what team is about. But you know what he's not doing? He's not losing games for them.
No,
So
I mean he did it first, and the 7-game win streak hasn't exactly been against juggernauts of the NFL.
Exactly.
It's been against the Giants, 2 against the Jets, some Philly in there. I mean, there's like those kind of teams.
Correct.
New Orleans was playing well, but you saw who they were decimated with COVID and injuries, and
we'll see what happens. But
they're not going to go anywhere. But
every team in the AFC North is still alive.
Every team. There's 2 games separating first and last. 2 games separating this late in the season. 2 games
and Cincinnati has 2 wins over Pittsburgh and Baltimore. So the tiebreakers go to Cincinnati. It's Cleveland that scares me. But that game against Buffalo and New England, did you see it?
Yes.
Yeah. That was a Josh Allen taking the game and just saying, you know what?
Agreed.
Who needs a running game? I mean, it's just they're something else when they have to be. So
agreed. But I mean, that's a team that loses to Jacksonville.
Well, but Tennessee's lost to the 2 worst teams in the NFL this year.
It's absolutely insane season.
It
crazy. Doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, so I think that's kind of sports news. I don't really have anything else to give.
Well, I have some soccer news.
Now
we're done. We're done.
Just got. Did you?
I don't care. I don't care. It's our soccer second. There, it's done. We moved on.
Maybe don't.
So our listener
don't know. Our listener said, "How about you don't get as repetitive? Like the soccer thing. Nobody likes soccer, so what's the point?" Well, I guess that's kind of the point. But so I wasn't going to bring up soccer. So Chris, our listener, I apologize for Jim. I do. I apologize for him. He's terrible.
I hate
but
it.
That's all right.
Okay,
I was actually going to talk about soccer because there's like literally 4 soccer players that have just absolutely collapsed of heart attacks shortly after getting the COVID booster. I'll do more of that later. But
anyway, I don't care.
Over and die.
Okay, so I'm going to review. We've had some nice top 5, so I'm going to review.
Wait, can I talk about one more thing before the top 5?
Oh, Jesus, God!
So, but this is important because it's important because it goes towards the women's movement. So, in Jeopardy, there's a new winner who is now the highest winning woman in Jeopardy history as far as funding. Amy Schneider, $768,600 is what Amy has won, surpassing a woman by the name of Larissa Kelly, who had 650. So, one problem with this: Amy Schneider is a man.
Oh no.
Yep, transgender man. But she is now being congratulated and hailed as the top woman winner in Jeopardy history. Proving once again.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Men are still better than women. I mean, like we dominate everything. There's no stopping us.
You said it.
There's no stopping us. I mean, holy mackerel!
I knew where you were going.
Caitlyn Jenner wins, Person of the Year. A man wins Woman of the Year. Women are dominating here. Women are dominating in swimming competitions, as we discussed. I mean, men are just totally just taking over the world. Way to go, Me Too movement. Anyways, that's it. That's all I want to talk about.
My wife, we started watching The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh,
kind of going with
And what do you think?
She likes it a lot. I think it's okay. She likes it a lot.
Well, it's probably the closest thing you can come to Pornhub, without watching Pornhub for you. So I'm just saying.
Anyway,
got a little bit of risky stuff in there.
All right. So from what we get in our top 5s, and it seems the feedback that we are getting is this is probably the favorite part of everyone. I don't know how many people tell me that the top 5 bands, your reaction to my top 5 bands is what everybody's favorite thing was.
I mean, it's all natural.
But again,
we don't discuss what our top 5. We don't actually discuss any of this, do we?
No, because I can tell you right now, it's my top 5, not yours, not Joe Biden's, Not Kamala Harris's. It's my top 5. Anyway,
very confrontational today, Jim.
We've had some listeners send in their top 5s for certain things that we have done. Do you want me to read the one signed Mrs. Jim, or do you want to read them?
Yes, read that one.
Do you want to read it, or do you want me to?
Yeah, if you can read. I'll read the Mrs. Jim. Mrs. Jim. Mrs. Jim.
You read, yes.
The one signed Mrs. Jim sent in both top 5 Christmas movies, which we're still in the holiday season, and then also top 5 sitcoms. So, would you like me to read both of those?
Yes, read both of them.
Okay.
She'll like it. She'll like it better if you read them.
Mrs. Jim will?
Yeah, Mrs. Jim will.
Mrs. Jim. Mrs. Jim's top 5 Christmas movies are as follows. Number 5, White Christmas.
Another silent movie.
Another Charlie Chaplin, I think, starred in that, didn't he?
She's gonna kill me.
Yeah. Why would Mrs. Jim kill you? Number 4, Elf.
Solid.
The only thing is it's ranked too low.
Yeah, I think so.
Number 3 is the Santa Claus. Absolutely
phenomenal.
Nothing. We all know that. Number 2 is Home Alone, which I just never
Good
liked.
movie.
That's
Good movie.
Fine, I get it.
Wasn't my top 5. Yep.
And number 1 is Christmas Vacation. Solid.
Solid. Yeah. Can't go wrong.
Solid list. Real good list. She has one very old nostalgic Bing Crosby movie in there, which is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with those. No. Honestly, none of them are Hallmark, so that's great. Also, Mrs. Jim has sent us top 5 sitcoms. All right. And number 5 listed is Frasier. Solid. Number 4, Home Improvement. Solid. Go on. You want to talk?
Home Improvement. I'm actually surprised it's this low. She flat out loved that show. So that shows you how much she really likes these next 3
which number 3 surprised me, even though it was I felt an awesome underrated show. Number 3 was Wings.
Yep.
If nobody has seen that or is not as familiar with that, go back and watch it. It was a great show. Number 2 was Friends. I understand that. It was a funny show. Don't get me wrong. It ran for a long time. It was a funny show. The concepts were good. The actors were great. I thought it was just a funny show.
It didn't run on too long.
No. I think it ran on exactly as long as it should.
Exactly.
Correct.
Some shows go too long. Right.
Go too long. So solid show. Kind of a preview. It did not make my top 5, but that's
mine neither.
But I'm not saying it couldn't have. It's one of those. And number 1, Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
That was such a damn good show.
Yeah. Classic.
It's amazing. Classic show. It's such a funny show.
That cast was just absolutely phenomenal. And the same cast all the way through.
That's right. Put a couple additions, Robert's girlfriend, that kind of thing. But never wavered. Peter Boyle's character. Come on.
Frank.
Frank.
She was perfect. Yeah. Marie. It was a very good show.
It was a very good show. Yeah. It was a great show. Very, very well done. So thank you, Mrs. Jim, for that list. Those lists. That's great. We love hearing from it. They're all good. It's good. I can't say anything negative.
Nope.
Maybe White Christmas, but
So
I like hearing my movies. But go on.
Okay. So our other favorite listener, Chris, he sent in his top 5 sitcoms, which are very good. So his number 5 was this was close to getting into my top 5, but it did not make it. It's Married with Children. Al Bundy was. You want to talk about a show that would not be allowed to be done today?
Correct.
There was no way. But it was absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely. Just well done. The cast again. The cast was absolutely great.
Yep. Never changed. Well, Yeah, they never changed, did they?
Well, they did. The neighbor's husband. The neighbor's husband.
Changed.
Yeah. The neighbor's husband changed, but
Yeah.
and then number 4 was Seinfeld.
Amazing.
Yeah, I get it. To some extent. It wasn't in my top 5, and I don't mind. I don't mind watching it occasionally, but I just never got the. I was never as big a fan as everyone else was to it.
Yeah,
but
I understand.
I get it. I get the love affair. It was, obviously very popular. Number 3 was Frasier.
Amazing.
And
Amazing show.
that was a phenomenal show because it was a spinoff of his number 2, which was Cheers.
Yeah,
and
great.
More on that later. Yep. And his number 1
more on some of these later.
Yeah. His number 1 was The Big Bang Theory. And
not my number 1, I'll tell you.
It's not. Honestly, it wasn't in my top 5, but it very easily could have been.
Could have been
because I watch reruns all the time on it. And me again, too. Jim Parsons as Sheldon Cooper.
Nobody could have done that role.
How he doesn't win, how he did not win the Emmy for Best Actor in a Comedy Series every freaking year.
It was just to me. Unbelievable.
And then the kid that plays young Sheldon. Oh my God!
See, I've never watched that show. As much as I love Big Bang Thing, I've never watched Young Sheldon.
It's not a great show. I mean, it's not great, but the kid is just perfect.
And Jim Parsons narrates the show, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. Jim Parsons has a lot to do with the show, yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's the makers of The Big Bang Theory. So,
yeah, of course.
But yeah, those were his top 5. Absolutely a phenomenal top 5. Now,
I have no argument with any of those top 5.
Now, one of our best listeners that listens all the time, and she threatened that if we don't talk about this, she'll never listen to us again. So we want to keep as many listeners as we can, we will review it.
So, we can't go from 3 to 2 listeners. I mean, that's a big jump.
Now, she has, can I say or just say that's a female listener out there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, she's my niece. I'll just go into that.
My God. I mean, you want to tell us more? Age, address?
No. But she's high school age, but she decided that she doesn't watch sitcoms. She doesn't really watch Christmas movies, and she doesn't really bands, she doesn't really have that style. So she decided to send us her top 5 cutest male actors. Now, before I get into that, she has asked Dale and I to do our top 5 cutest male actors. So we will do that.
We will do that.
We just don't have it ready for this show, but we will do that for one of our shows, and it could be fun. All right, it just could be fun. So,
I don't know how it couldn't be.
So I tell you what, I'll read number 5, you read 4, and then we'll just alternate back and forth.
I don't know if I have that one, my friend.
That's okay. I'll read them all.
Yep.
Her number 5, and I agree with your email response to her. I don't get this.
I don't get it.
Her number 5 was Pete Davidson.
Who has been with Ariana Grande, has been with, I think, Megan Fox, I think. I mean, these are not ugly women.
Yeah. No.
Right?
And I just don't
get it, dude. I don't get it either.
Yeah.
I mean, he must be.
I know it. Yeah, he's in that commercial about the ink and all that stuff, and I don't know. I don't know. He's also in Suicide Squad too, but
he's funny. I mean, I think at times he can be funny and all that. And I don't think he's a bad dude. I just don't. I don't.
No,
see
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't. I don't get the looks. Anyway,
I don't either.
So her number 4 was a young Matt LeBlanc. Matt LeBlanc.
God, so
anybody who doesn't know, that's Joey on Friends.
Yeah. Young
her
Matt
number
LeBlanc.
Yeah. Her number 3 was Ryan Gosling.
That's probably your number 3, but go on.
No, he wouldn't make my top 5.
What?
Yeah, wouldn't make my top 5. Number my top 5 are fine.
You get it, girl. You get it, girl.
Okay. Anyway, Now, here's one that I would want to debate with her, but he was in a movie, so I guess we have to count it. And it's
in
Harry,
a movie.
number 2, Harry Styles.
Oh, for God.
Apparently, he was in
really.
one of. I think he was in one of the Avenger movies, and I don't think it was a major role. I don't know. You'll have.
I wouldn't consider. See that's where I'd have to debate. If you had something like that on, my God, when I hit this, if you had something like that on your list, that would be. Your list wouldn't count.
But anyway,
that's
it's her number 2. This is her list.
Okay.
So her number 1 is Timothy Chalamet. Or Chalamet, I don't know how to pronounce it, but anybody who
this is.
Well, he's the new Dune. He's the lead actor in the new Dune movie. So anyway, I don't know. That's her list. That's the difference. Again,
that's the youth.
So Dale and Dale and my top 5 cutest male actors will come. I think what we need to do is we need to do it with another one. I mean, it shouldn't be a separate one by itself because I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about how my number 1 is this individual because you are going to eat that up.
I want to hear you say that. There will be no other list.
So anyway,
it will be
okay. Fine.
Jim's
all right.
Top 5 cutest male actors.
Cutest.
I love how it's cute. Like the word is cutest, not
it's
like
cutest.
most handsome.
It's
so cute. It's so teenager.
That's so teenage, and she is so teenager. So, so there it is. So now she'll keep listening. So
that's awesome. Well, thank you for sending it. And I think it'd be funny as hell to hear that crap. But I appreciate it.
All of our female listeners out there, if you want to jump on that one and send us your top 5 cutest, I know I can honestly think you and I might be on some of those lists. I
don't see why not. I was surprised I wasn't on hers.
Yeah.
At least above Pete Davidson.
Yeah. So who knows? God. Maybe people that say they like us, maybe we'll be in their top 5. Who knows?
Oh, I'm sure we will. I certainly will. Why not? I mean, I've been in some home movies. Does that count? Or
yeah. Well, we digress. We digress.
Oh, no, I don't. Digress nothing.
All right. So
movies, proud of it.
So thank you for you, Chris.
And I had a co-starring role. You, on the other hand, have been in some home movies, and it was a one-man show. So I'm just saying.
Well, I don't like to share the screen with anyone. So
2 thumbs up for Jim.
That's right.
2 thumbs up.
So that was awesome. That we love this.
Thank you for sending that in. By the way, I don't want to dismiss that. I think that's funny. I think it would be incredibly crazy to see what you think and I think.
I bet you. I'll bet you anything. We have more matches of the cutest male actors than we did the bands.
Oh, I guarantee probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
So,
because
I don't.
Go on.
My number 1 it will be my wife. Oh yeah.
I mean, you already know, which is
It's kind of. It's really. I don't know.
How do you know already? Don't even tell me who it is. You cannot say.
Okay, you can't tell me that you have not watched a show where you're watching this actor and you're like going, God, that son of a bitch is just too pretty. I mean, it is. It's just, and it drives me nuts, right? You've never done that. Anyway, okay, let's move on.
I have not gone. This guy is too pretty.
Okay. Anyway. I better shut up.
You know you're number 1 already.
Oh yeah.
You're 20% into it already. You already know your list.
And I guarantee you, Mrs. Jim would probably agree. So.
Oh, for God's sakes!
So anyway, okay.
Let's get into ours then.
Do you want to do your top 5 first? You want me to do mine?
I did my top 5 Christmas.
Okay.
You do your top 5 first.
Perfect.
Okay. It's fair.
So I have statistics to go along with it, even though this was a lot harder to find than the Christmas movie.
Yeah, I've got rankings. I don't have much other than that, just because I didn't want to research that part.
My number 5. My number 5 was a show that ran from 1990 to 1997.
I do not have those.
It was nominated. It was nominated for 3 Primetime Emmys. Did not win any, but it was nominated for them.
My God, you have very good stats.
Oh yeah, and it wasn't on any of the top 100 that I could find out there, but it was my number 5, and that is Wings.
Okay.
My wife and I,
right.
when we first started dating, which was in 1991, this show was a year old, and we just started watching it, and it's great. We love it.
Exactly. Me and my wife also watch it, and oddly enough, I don't remember the actress's name who was in it. Do you? The blonde.
Crystal Bernard.
You do know. Yeah, that's right.
I know them all.
We know too, but I always forget.
Yeah.
My wife actually looked very similar to her back
then. I could see that. I could see that, actually.
Very similar. And so it was part of the attraction. Yeah. So I understand.
And it was a great show.
Not to mention all the other things, but it was part of the attraction. So.
Two brothers, Brian and Joe Hackett, that they were pilots on a small Sandpiper airline.
Regional airline.
Sandpiper airline. And it was just great. I mean, it was
great.
And for those of you who don't know, that Lowell was played by Thomas Hayden Church, who went on to actually do pretty well in movies after that, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
and Monk was in there. What's his name? I can't.
Tony Shalhoub. Tony Shalhoub, Monk.
Who was Monk? He was also in that, and so. And then, of course, whatchamacallit went on to star in The Practice.
He's actually the two of them have been in a lot of different ones.
A lot of things, yes.
Tim Daly and Steven Weber. Yeah, I know all of them.
You do. No, that's good. I really, you're brother and me. I don't know that crap. But
now,
that's a great show.
My number 4 might surprise. This is the one that might surprise. From 1984 to 1992. So we're going back to 1984. By Ranker, the top 100. It was 19 on their list.
So that would be, I'm going to guess, Home Improvement.
No.
That's wrong then. You're wrong.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, number 4 won 7 Primetime Emmys. It was Night Court.
My God.
With Harry Anderson.
Totally forgot about Night Court.
Absolutely.
I loved that show.
Now, the first season was fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. But when Marky Post came on for the second season on, that was just so much better. Not that
Who was not in love with Marky Post?
Oh my God. She was she was what but that show you want to talk about, it's a goofy courtroom drama. John Larroquette as Dan Fielding, just that guy, sometimes he stole the show. But we had Bull, Richard Mole as Bull, the bald bailiff. It was funny. I mean, how all of they worked together, and it was always whenever they had the court, always these goofy people came up, and they just
that was great. Great concept, great show.
Especially when they had the prostitutes come up, and they're all like, "Hi, Dan."
I know. Yep, exactly.
But according to Paste, according to Paste magazine, it was number 88. So,
which is weird because I used Ranker as well, and my number 19 was obviously different than what your number 19
really?
So I don't know.
We must have looked at a different. Mine might have been older. I don't know because
or newer. I don't know. I mean, I thought mine was relatively new, but
my number 3 ran from 1996 to 2005. Won 15 primetime Emmys.
Mm-hmm.
It was Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah,
we talked about that show, and Ranker magazine had it at 36.
Good one.
Maybe it's different from yours. And Paste magazine had it at 62.
I only did Ranker,
I'm surprised it wasn't any higher than that. I looked for the Arts Films Institute, AFI, because they do the top 100 movies of all time.
Yeah.
And the comedies of all time. And I know they did a sitcom one, but I can't find it anywhere.
Can't find it.
Maybe they didn't do it. I don't know.
Maybe they didn't.
But
they might not have.
Now, my number 2 ran from 1982 to 1993. Mm-hmm. It had 28 primetime Emmys. And it's Where Everybody Knows Your Name. Cheers. Loved that show. I liked it with Joe Long. Mm-hmm. But when Kirstie Alley came on and Woody Harrelson came on as
I know it's one of those shows where the characters switched and of course Woody Harrelson had to because Coach passed away.
Unfortunately.
But they it's one of those. I'm typically not a character switching fan in a show,
right?
For sure.
Right.
That's one that seamless and actually got maybe better.
I think it did get better. My wife definitely, Mrs. Jim definitely thinks it's better. When Kirstie Alley came on, and just a phenomenal show. I mean, it was a much see because we didn't have DVRs then, so if you wanted to watch it or record it on your VHS,
on your VHS.
Yeah. So
kids,
but
that's like something we used to have to do. But go on.
Loved it. Yeah. Just absolutely loved it. Great show.
Great show.
I completely disagree with some of these rankings. Stacker, which I stopped watching them when they had them ranked at 80. That's stupid.
Oh, come on.
Ranker had them at 25.
Okay.
Yep. And Pace Magazine had it at number 2.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's, Norm and Cliff. I mean, come on. It's everything. You talk about a cast that works so well together.
Rita Perlman, who was amazing on that show.
Oh, yeah. Married to Danny DeVito. Yeah. Yep. So just a great show, number 2. Now, here is going to shock the heck out of you because I'm sure you heard of it. I feel you heard of it. But it ran from 1995 to 2004.
95. So, I mean, it's not that crazy.
It was only nominated for Emmys. It never won one.
Mm-hmm.
And the only ranking I could see it in was Ranker at number 75.
God.
And it is the Drew Carey Show.
Oh, of course I've heard of it.
Absolutely love that show.
I did too. Of course, it's Lewis. Cool. It's a homie show, right? So.
Oh my God! Those 4, the first 4, along with Mimi. About Drew Carey works in this cubicle and all the time trying to get out of this cubicle and into the upper. Could never do it. Always something happened. A lot of times, Mimi.
Great show.
When they did their beer. When one of my favorite episodes was when Lewis and I don't know if it's Walden, maybe.
I think so.
Yeah, they had this big vat of beer. They were at this beer show and it started leaking. So he and Lewis and Walden were fighting over who was going to get in there to patch it up. So Lewis tells him, "Well, you have Kate." And I have nothing. So Lewis got Ryan Stiles played him. So he gets in there. He's in this thing and he's drinking it while he's patching it. Yeah. He gets drunk. I just love this show. And I can't, you go out to Hulu, you go out to these places, and all of these other shows are on there. I can't find Drew Carey or Night Court.
I know.
I just can't find it.
Crazy to me.
And
I don't know why. That's crazy to me.
It's insane. But that's my number 1.
That to me, that was a great show. I would never put it at number 1, even though I was, Drew Carey's from Cleveland. He highlighted the town. I mean, the opening credits were
Cleveland
Rocks. I mean, it's like, how can I hate that, right? But it was great. Great
when
show.
they had the dance themes for the show when Drew Carey and his group did Rocky Horror Picture Show, and then Mimi's group did It's Raining Men from the Oh my God, their dance sequences were great, especially the one with the strippers when they had the boxes on. They were flipping them. All of them said, "Man, my band about came done," and that one guy goes, "You guys used a band?"
That's right.
But some of the shows that missed my list, Frasier.
Okay.
Frasier just missed it. I mean, could have gone in there. The Goldbergs. I love the Goldbergs because of the 80s reference. It has a lot of the things that were fun back then. Friends, of course, it could have been, but the one that surprises it, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but if you get a chance to go out and watch it, it is Blue Mountain State.
I have not watched that one.
It is about this fictitious college program.
Yeah.
My son got me hooked on this, and it is raunchy as hell. It talks. I mean, it's about this great program that wins all these national championships, and not a lot of great known people, but they had a lot of, like, Chad Johnson was on it. Brian Bosworth was a guest star on it. I mean, all of
Yeah.
these great NFL players were guest stars on this show, and
Yeah.
it only ran 2 years, but it they were drinking, drugs, women. The whole thing
was only
based
2
on
years. I mean, the whole thing was only 2 years.
If you get a chance to go out and watch it, Blue Mountain State, it is absolutely phenomenal. So it never made, it did actually make number 33 on Pace Magazine's top 100.
Wow.
It was good. But anyway, that's my top 5.
Nice. Nice. I mean, there's no controversy, really, honestly. I mean, I think it's pretty good. I mean, number 1, I don't think would be most people's number 1 ever.
Probably, yeah. I agree.
I don't think it would ever. I don't even know if it would make a top 10 in a lot of people.
In all honesty, it was really
popular.
It was really tough to put that or Cheers as my number 1. So it basically was 1A and 1B.
This tough for me. This whole
1A and 1B.
There's so many. Yep.
Well, and then as you're going,
huh?
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say actually, I have a top 5, but it's technically a top 6 because I put a tie in for 3 for me. So that's not fair. I mean, I didn't say we could do that, but whatever. I'll go ahead and start.
Yeah.
My 5 and 4, I'm sure you've heard of, but you will never agree with it. So my number 5 favorite sitcom of all time is Schitt's Creek.
Okay.
People like it. People don't. Pretty popular. I don't have stats. It's ranked. All I have is ranked at 68th on Ranker. So not that high, as of right now, but Schitt's Creek, I thought it was just brilliantly written, and I'm a big Dan Levy fan and a big Eugene Levy fan. So, I mean, I just think them together collaborating on this no-name show that ended up winning them Emmys, and it ran for 6 years, 6 seasons, about 24 episodes a season, but they're all short. Like you watch them, they're on Netflix, I think is where they're at. And that was a Netflix show, I think.
I love Eugene Levy. Love Eugene. I have never watched one episode of that. However, I do want to start watching it because you are not the only one that has told me that it's a really good show.
Yeah.
When you've got Eugene Levy, in a show,
I mean, the guy's that's just, it's crazy. Yeah. It's so good.
So good. I have not seen it. So that's good.
Yeah. Number 4 is another show that you may have never seen because it is on Hulu. Believe it or not, it is on, I believe it's 15th season on Hulu. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh,
that is my number 4.
Didn't it start out on
It started off
FX?
like Amy or something like that.
Or FX, yeah.
It did, but Hulu, it's strictly Hulu. I can't even watch it on FX.
Those actors on there.
Charlie Day, Danny DeVito. I mean,
their movies they do. I have never seen an episode of that.
You have to. It is so... It'll run along the lines of a raunchier Seinfeld, just for instance.
All right.
Every episode is kind of about something different. It very rarely runs together where there's a series of things that occur. It's almost every single episode. 15 years of this, amazingly well written.
Yeah, and it's
funny and just
it's not one of those. So it's not one of those that is rent. It's 15 years too long. We need to stop it. It's been
correct.
Good.
But wow! It is on Ranker at number 30. Believe it or not.
No, it's on all the ones I went out to. It was on there. It was on every one of them. So and I've heard a lot of good things about it. So I just never watched it.
It's fun. I mean, right from episode 1. And anyways, just watch episode 1.
Cool.
All right, number 3, like I said, is a tie for me. The first one we've talked about, Cheers.
Yeah,
is my number 3. Tied with Home Improvement for me.
Okay, so you did like Home Improvement. All right.
I loved Home Improvement. I mean, I absolutely loved Home Improvement.
Another must-see.
Another must-see. But that's where I found it on Ranker as number 19, which differs from your number 19
right,
on Ranker. Right. So anyways, they're close. It is what it is. But Home Improvement, if you've Tim Allen, I've never seen it. Yeah,
classic.
Yeah. Before his Last Man Standing, which did not make my top 5, and we've talked about why.
Yeah.
It hasn't, but it was a great show, and I watched every episode of that. So my number 2, Seinfeld, which I know did not make yours, and but that is my number 2. I mean, I could watch them today. I watch reruns. My daughter's watching rerun. I mean, everybody here could watch them. That's was also ranked number 2 on Ranker. Yep. And my number 1, which has been mentioned, was the spinoff of Cheers, which is Frasier.
Really?
That was my favorite and my number 1 favorite show of all time. David Hyde Pierce as Kelsey Grammer's brother. Yes. They couldn't have found a better guy to play his brother. They literally could not have found a better guy to play his brother. That whole cast, and that never wavered either.
No.
Never switched the character, never. And now that kind of brings me into why Last Man Standing, why it didn't make mine, is because of the Mandy switch. Now, that's not fair to the show because frickin' ABC canceled them,
All right, moved to Fox.
When it was the number 1 show on comedy on ABC.
Now, tell everybody why they canceled
it. Because it was a conservative. It had a conservative spin to it. And he was basically a Republican on the show. And Tim Allen was basically a conservative Republican in general. So there were a lot of jokes about Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama and all that. And so ABC canceled the show at its peak.
At its peak.
At its peak, canceled it. Yes. So there you have it. I mean, it's Tim Allen. Tim Allen's funny. It's just all there is to it.
But it's amazing. So, and when you took Mandy away from it, it changed. And it's not fair to the new Mandy. Okay, it really wasn't. But it wasn't. That girl that played that, it was so phenomenal. She was and very beautiful. I mean, absolutely beautiful.
I mean, new Mandy wasn't ugly, but I mean, I'm just saying that it was such a difference. You had kind of petite brunette Mandy who played that role perfectly. Well, by the time Fox brought the show back after a year, she had gone on to other endeavors. She started acting. She had contractual obligations to that. She couldn't come back to there. And so they get like 7'4" blonde, total opposite, and maybe on purpose, because they even mention it in the first episode. I mean, Tim Allen was great about that. Like, hey, man, have you changed? Did you change your hair color or something? I mean, it's like, so he was great about that, and he knew it. But anyways, some of my honorable mentions, very, very close to making it. Every one of these very, very close. Parks and Rec, The Office, Big Bang Theory, 2.5 Men for the same reasons we kind of just talked about. Once, what's his head?
Once Ashton Kutcher came on, it wasn't that it was bad, but it's just not Charlie. It's not.
It wasn't. Friends was also on there. Arrested Development. If
I had a feeling that was good. I was actually surprised Malcolm in the Middle wasn't in yours. That seemed like a show. That seemed like a show you would watch.
And Modern Family was in mine. So in Modern Family, yeah. So they're kind of all similar, but The Office really could have made it. Even though I think maybe I like Parks and Rec more than Office. Yeah, but The Office is what really kind of set that whole, the way they film it. That whole, came over. Ricky Gervais, who brought it here from England, was. I mean, even if you watch the British one, it's crazy funny. Yeah. If you like that stuff. But
when Michael left, I didn't think they were as good. I just didn't think they were as good as when he was on it.
No,
but
of course not. Yeah, and that's why. I mean, when they started, I agreed. Yeah. I mean, it should have ended when Michael left. I mean, that's how the show should have ended. Yeah. And they actually tried. They were going to do a spinoff called The Farm, where it was based on Dwight and his family. Except Dwight was more the normal one. His family was even weirder than Dwight. And it just, even the episode in The Office when they called The Farm, I think, when they were trying to see how it was like the lowest ranked Office episode ever. Yeah. Just wasn't going to work. So, anyways, that's the top 5. Jim, did we even discuss what our next top 5 is going to be?
I don't believe so. I know I threw out some things. I threw out top 5 theme songs from shows. Doing that.
You did.
We don't have to do it for the next one.
It just bores me a little.
That,
no, really? I don't know. I mean, I think
I had it all done.
You got them all done. You even know your number 1 cutest male.
I know.
I think we do probably. Why don't we go towards like the. I'm going to say it here so people can send in our stuff. So maybe top 5 female music artists or something like that.
Female what?
Female. Music artists. 5, not bands, not anything,
do they sing?
What, females? Transgender females do, and that way.
Yeah, see, I think that would be more. Anyway, that's why Boy George would be number one. Can Boy George be my number one?
Boy George can't be your number one.
You dress?
No.
But, okay.
Yeah.
So what?
Your number one.
Top 5.
I mean, we should have settled this beforehand. We're boring everybody.
No, that's fine. You know what? Let's do. You want to do top 5 solo or just top 5 women singers? Could be groups, could be.
Nope. Top 5 solo.
Solo, perfect. Okay.
Hard.
That'll be fun. Not really. My number one's easy.
Again, Jesus God Almighty. Top 5 female solo artists. So send it in 2guys1coup at Gmail, on Facebook at 2guys1coup, and then if you can find us on Twitter at 2guys1coup.
I can't.
You can even comment on these videos if you're watching them. If you're just listening, that's fine. But if you're watching these on YouTube, you can comment there too. We don't.
Yeah, but they have
to get a hold of us to let us know these things. Let us know.
I think you have to get them. I think you have to get like a membership for YouTube to do that, but I don't think it costs anything.
I don't think so. You just
I thought a couple people. You have to subscribe. It's free, but they don't subscribe, and so. But to
subscribe, it's free.
To comment, you have to subscribe. Yeah, it doesn't cost anything. So
correct. Well, I think we should probably get to our AOCs and Schumers and kind of get this thing wrapped up
real quick.
You want.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you want me to go first, or you go first? I don't know who yours is or mine is.
I'll go first because mine will be quick and to the point.
Okay.
Mine is Rachel Maddow, and it's
Jim,
because
Jim, stop. I mean, I don't mind showing it. Who's that say?
Well, okay. You've got more information. Is it because of what she said about COVID on her show?
Yep.
Okay.
We got
wow.
You've got
notes. You have
notes. That's crazy.
It's absolutely insane.
Of all the people, that's who we picked, but because it's important. Well, anyway, so our AOC of the week is Rachel Maddow, not because of what she did yesterday or the day before, because she could be for any of those things, but what she did back in March 29th of 2021 and what she said about COVID and the vaccinated. Is that what yours is about?
Yep.
Do you want to go on? Do you have she said? I do.
I was just going to go over it briefly. You go ahead because you got it.
Here's what she said. Yeah, here's what she said. She said, now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person.
That's the one.
That's what she said. That she pushed that vaccine because the vaccinated cannot go. Well, here she says this: a vaccinated person gets exposed to the virus does not infect them. The virus cannot then use that person to go anywhere else. She also added, I cannot use a vaccinated person as a host to go get more people. She said the vaccines will get us to the end of this. Wow, that didn't last long and sit well. Basically, what she's saying and all that mumbo jumbo nonsense is that if you get vaccinated, it's impossible to get the virus. It's impossible to transmit the virus. It's impossible. Yeah, that's it. It's impossible to transmit it. It will end once you get the virus. This was March of this year, and that is why she is our apparent AOC of the week. What do you have to add to that nonsense?
Other than I would like to go back and look at what she said when President Trump was in office. Was she like everybody else saying, I wouldn't get that vaccine. I wouldn't get the vaccine.
Good call. We'll do that.
So
that research for next week.
Because you do know that's what everybody said.
Yep, I'm right.
Don't get Donald Trump. Don't get Donald Trump. Well, you know what? You did.
Yeah.
So it's whatever.
And in addition, what did Biden say this week that was just amazing about
He actually complimented Trump.
Well, I think that's to set him up for some reason. But I'm going to hold off on that crap. Compliment Trump so Trump takes the hit for the vaccines. I just think. down the line, because Democrats are never going to compliment
that's a good
Donald
point.
Trump on a damn thing. So
That's
just,
point.
again, right hand, left hand, right?
Yep.
We've talked about it.
Yep.
Swatch, yeah. But so Biden said that, wow, there's no federal answer for the virus. It should be left up to the states. Well, no shit. Exactly what Ron DeSantis and all the other Republican governors, exactly what Trump said while this was happening, that there's not a federal answer for this. The states really got to take control. The governors know what's best for their state. That's what Biden just said. Well, where are you going to hear? You going to hear anybody praise Trump for saying that, or Ron DeSantis, or Greg Abbott, or any of these guys saying that nonsense? No, you're not. So this whole COVID thing led into that. Now I'm bitter again about COVID because I'm sick of it. Yeah. I've had enough. I'm done with COVID.
We've talked about it. The liberals need it around for another year.
They do.
Maybe two more years.
Maybe Dr. Rachel Maddow can tell us, how else these things are going to help.
It's because the economy in liberals, it's not as good as they tell you it is. Please don't buy it at all.
Of course not.
But they need it around because they need an excuse, and that's what liberals have always needed, an excuse for why
Correct.
Obama, there was never, of course it wasn't that they were making excuses about Obama. They just weren't talking about it. The Benghazi situation. And then of course the IRS, where he sent the IRS after all these groups that spoke out against him, and all that stuff. And of course, these are things you won't hear on those other stations and stuff.
Well, of course not. Of course not.
But it's dangerous when someone like Rachel Maddow, who a lot of people watch her. Okay. Yeah. It's just dangerous when, and can you imagine if Rush Limbaugh said that?
Oh my God. That'd be the end of it.
Yeah. And it's just, and I know I hate that. I hate it when I do that. I hate it when other people do it, saying, well, their side does this or I hate that because it's like, that doesn't solve anything. All that does and stuff. But yeah, that's very bad. And the thing that bothers me is she wasn't asked to take it back or step it back.
No,
she's never.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So let me ask you this too. Also, Dr. Rachel Maddow, will she be banned from social media for misinformation?
No.
You're damn right she won't be. Of course she won't. She won't be off Twitter. She won't be off Facebook. She won't be off Instagram. She won't be off any of that crap.
Now we haven't
misinformation.
Now we haven't said or done anything that I would think would be over controversial. Okay, we have not.
I wouldn't either. I don't think so.
But we are more apt to be canceled than her. So
of course, and we've done really any. I mean, you bash transgenders a lot, as I see, but or maybe that's me. Maybe that's me.
I think and also
I don't bash them. I bash the women's movement who doesn't back up.
Yeah, well,
that stuff.
Yeah, your comment about when Jeopardy, the woman, the man on Jeopardy.
Is that wrong? Am I wrong?
You weren't.
A biological man is now the highest paid woman winner in Jeopardy. A biological man. So that's not wrong.
You don't have to say everything that comes into that wonderful mind of yours.
Well, I mean, I feel how else would the world know my brilliance if I don't say stuff like that? I mean, it's what I do. And, hey, if you want to get a hold of us and tell me how brilliant I am and how good looking Jim is, you can even. Did you see that fall?
It fell.
God dang!
You know what? That's a bad sign.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Don't they play Utah coming up?
They do. Oh, my God. Anyways, you want to get a hold of us, tell me how brilliant I am and how good-looking Jim is, or vice versa, or how brilliant and good-looking I am, at 2guys1coup@gmail.com. Facebook, 2guys1coup. Twitter, @2guys1coup, we hope. And then comment here on YouTube. Watch us, listen, share, subscribe. The more you share, better looking Jim gets, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's,
because I can afford plastic surgery then.
You can. Yeah, you can. Yeah. We need a lot of sponsorship is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, good show, my friend.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year
to you and your wonderful family.
Your wonderful family as well.
Thank you. We will have another show next week. We will be doing top 5 female solo artists. This I don't want to confuse anything with you, but I feel all yours are going to be in a band. I'm just saying.
Nope.
Top 5 female solo artists.
Because you said solo artists. So the Go-Go's are not going to be in there.
Okay. Thank God. Anyways, look forward to that. Look forward to more crap with you. More nonsense going on in the election. We start again in 2022, an election year. So that'll be interesting. And that's about it. I'm awesome. Good. Thank you again, Jim. I appreciate it. You have a good new year again, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Jeez, aggressive. See you.